Hey guys, Mr. E here, and today it's time to take a look at a Psyker build. This is the meta Psyker, right? So the one that's going to use the Flame Staff, and the Dueling Sword, and the Bubble, and Warp Siphon, and all the things you might expect to see in like the OP meta Psyker sort of setup. So if that's not for you, that's okay. There's plenty more niche and super fun and cool Psyker builds coming in the days to come. You might notice just at a glance here that I don't exactly have the best Psyker drip in the world. The drip is kind of a recession indicator for me. Times have been tough, so if you want to support the channel, one subscribe is $1. That helps to feed me and my family, and I really wish that was true because that would be a lot of money at this point. But either way, I really appreciate your support. Thanks, guys. Let's go on and look at the weapons here. We got the Dueling Sword, surprising nobody. This thing is crazy good in all classes, but this class makes extra special good use out of it. We're doing a new Carapace and Unyielding here that allows us to just swap to our melee and get extra damage against those targets that aren't going to die instantly, and it also allows us to buff the damage that we do with blaze stacks, like fire stacks, against those types of enemies. Because when we swap to our melee weapon, our currently existing dots, like the ones that are already on enemies, scale with the weapon that's in our hand. And this is going to be really important when we talk about Uncanny Strike, which is the blessing that we're obviously going to be using here. Uncanny Strike has very obvious uses in terms of direct damage, right? If I just go ahead and get it stacked up here, now, if I could actually hit the head on the front guy, my damage is scaled quite considerably. It only takes me 4 attacks to kill one of these guys. But the other really notable thing about this is that it gives you true damage as a buff to your character. So normally, if I don't have this buff and I apply blaze stacks to these guys and get them all the way up to the max stacks of blaze, let's look how much damage they're taking, right? You see right there, they're taking 29 damage. Now, what if I just cap this blaze stack out, and then I just light attack this guy in the head some? Now let's look. 193, right? So in just the course of a couple of attacks, we are boosting up to some crazy numbers, and then thanks to a talent in our tree called Perilous Combustion, we can just go meleeing through this horde, and you see there I attacked about 6 times and killed 10 crushers plus, and that scales pretty much infinitely. So we can melt crushers because this blessing enables us to do true damage as long as we have the sword out, and that scales off of our burns. So very cool and definitely balanced, definitely shouldn't be fixed at all. Thanks, Fat Shark. Going on to the Inferno Force Staff here, Unyielding and Flak for boss killing, you know, for extra boss damage, extra Reaper damage, extra Bulwark damage, and then Flak because that's most enemies in the game. Warp resistance can be at 80%. That's going to allow us to get hot faster. We want to be hot with this weapon. We want to be high peril because it gives us crit, it gives us damage and other stuff. And this weapon can cast 4 full flame blasts before it overheats at all. Even I don't explode myself when I'm playing with this weapon. Like, that's just how egregiously simple it is and how efficient it is for every peril percentage use. Now, for blessings, we're going to do Warp Nexus for reasons I just mentioned. We're running high peril, and crits are really, really good in this weapon. They have a myriad of knock-on effects, but chief among them probably is the fact that a crit stacks double stacks of blaze instantly. So here I would have only had 5 stacks of blaze, but thanks to critting twice, I got 7. And that makes a really big difference in terms of how little you have to cast to get everybody maxed out or kill them off with those blaze stacks. So that's a really big factor. And then Blaze Away is the other really big node here. Blaze Away is just such a powerful node, 40% strength that scales your currently existing blaze stacks. It also scales every bit of damage you do to those enemies. So the general way you'll want to play is you'll want to get these enemies up to max stacks, and then you'll just want to tap, 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 just fast enough to keep Blaze Away at full stacks. This is also going to synergize with something in our tree that's going to give us additional damage to the targets that are getting tapped like that, and we're going to just keep those blaze stacks cooking at maximum strength. Now, the Curios down here are all toughness with extra toughness and extra combat ability regen and extra revive speed. The Psyker is a simple boy, right, or girl, and they don't really require any of that fancy stuff like damage reduction or stamina because we're not really moving that much, and if you're playing right, a gunner will never even take a shot at you or never even have the chance to hit you, more like. So that's good all down there. Okay, let's go on to the talents here. Up here on the top right, Metal and Perfect Timing. Remember, we are stacking some good crit here, so we have a pretty good chance to get toughness and become faster. Mobility is very important for the Flame Staff. We need to close that gap and or kite enemies out so we can burn them up. And then we're going to grab Perfect Timing, which is going to stack 15% damage like we're the Arbites. Soul Stealer, because we're killing pretty much everything in the entire map with Warp. So this is going to just instantly replenish our toughness if we need it. Then Perilous Combustion, as I showed you previously, that can just turn into this absolute cascade of enemy kills where if you kill a couple of elites in close proximity, those stacks will fall onto other nearby elites and it'll burn them up and then keeps going from there. You can use this, try this like when there's elites crowding a boss. If you kill all the elites, all those flame stacks jump to the boss, and the boss can have up to 31 flame stacks, which is a lot of damage as you might expect. Brain Rupture, because it's the one blitz you can use when you're really not focusing on blitz usage, right? Brain Rupture, just like, oh, I need to pop something at long distance range, or like there's a sniper that's poking out and I can't get him with the flame staff because the flame staff only has a 15-meter radius. Just brain pop him. Over here we got Soul Drinker for extra crit and toughness, easy choice, and then Empiric Shock, another easy choice. This is going to scale that burn damage. This is why I was left-click tapping when I was showcasing earlier, because when we're left-clicking, we're adding the damage taken debuff to this enemy, up to 30% increased warp damage taken, which scales the direct damage of the flame staff, but more importantly, it scales those burn ticks. So you can increase the burn ticks by 30% for this, and by 40% for the Blaze Away talent, or the Blaze Away blessing on the Doom stick. Now, we've got Seer's Presence here, because it's the best aura. If you already got someone on your team who's running it, you can go Prescience, or you could go Kinetic Presence, but Prescience is probably better. This is a really good stat for everybody, and it really helps your stack for crit. Then Psykinetics Aura. Psykinetics Auras, they just kind of broke this class by giving them more cooldown, because we already had plenty of cooldown, but this gives the Psyker a better cooldown than like most other classes in the game right now. And yeah, it enables you to infinitely spam bubbles, pretty much. You'll have bubbles, you'll see in the footage. There's at least one bubble up on the battlefield at all times, if not two, sometimes three, and that's all because Psykinetics Aura and this are giving us cooldown somewhere in the 15-second range, plus, of course, Warp Siphon has even more cooldown. Yay. Empathic Evasion, another reason to get crits. Every time you get a crit, you get 1 second of dodging against range attacks. That's one of the only things that the Psyker is actually weak to, right? You can kite enemies, like melee enemies, all day, but you can't kite a guy with a gun who actually can aim, and sometimes they do, like, remember how to aim and try to shoot you. Not if you have Empathic Evasion going, though, and you just crit the guys that you're kiting around in melee. That makes you immune to all range attacks. So just keep shooting and you're going to be safe. Down here, in case you aren't safe, we got Just a Dream and one with the Warp. Just a Dream is just 25% damage right off the top, and then it converts it into Peril. What an amazing damage reduction node, right? This class has ostensibly infinite damage, right? What it doesn't have is infinite HP. This is going to extend that HP a little bit farther. It's not going to take it to infinite, but it'll take it to, like, at least, 50% higher than it was. One with the Warp, also really good because we're running high Peril, so it's going to make our toughness damage, or our toughness, have that much more damage reduction, and our toughness is a big element of our defenses here because we're regenerating so much of it. Then we're grabbing Telekind Shield with the Dome side. Dome is amazing. I love getting domes on my team. And then down here we get Warp Rider with 20% increased damage. Again, another reason to be at high peril, high heat, and Warp Ghost. I don't believe that they actually thought that minus 80% passive quelling was a downside. This is kind of a comically overpowered node. This makes the keeping the heat in the staff just that much easier, and that's good for us. And then 2 stamina means we're not getting gassed the second we press the sprint button. And of course 25% toughness replenishment is increasing the dome replenishment by 25%. It's increasing Essence Harvest by 25%. It's increasing this node by 25 and this node by 25, right? So like all these get multiplied, so our toughness replenishment is crazy already, and this is multiplying it by 25% as well. Thanks for that. Over here, range damage, solidity, toughness damage reduction, and penetration of the soul. As if this class wasn't already buffed enough by this patch, this node got a big buff, and now it gives you 20% rending on warp attacks based on peril. So what this really means is that, and you'll notice the difference against crushers, right? Normally flame stacks do about 30%, or like, sorry, 30 damage at 16 stacks, or when you're on low peril, but at maximum peril, it's almost double that because of the 20% rending. And then what that really means for us is that when we swap to our dueling sword, all we have to do is light attack that guy 3 times in the face, and we're at 95+% rending, right? So yeah, we're almost doing true damage, and that means you're just gonna have to spend less time attacking to get those stacks up. Easy peasy, free damage. And down here, Warp Siphon. This ability is crazy. It is the perfect complement for this. We get base damage up to 16% with this, up to 24% with maximum charges, which is amazing. And then we get up to 7.5% of our cooldown back for warp charge we spend. So that's 45% of your cooldown sliced right off the top if you have 6 charges when you spend it, which are easy to get because we have a 10% chance to get them when we kill with Soul Blaze, and we're killing thousands upon thousands of enemies every game. And of course, we're grabbing Essence Harvest as well, which is going to constantly be printing tons of toughness for us in case we do take any damage when we're not hiding inside our bubble like a little baby. And that's going to be the whole build, guys. So yeah, nothing super flashy, nothing super surprising if you've been tuned into what's going on with Psyker over the past years or so, but it's definitely got even more powerful with this update. And here's some gameplay footage to prove it. Thanks for watching, y'all, and peace. Leave me alone. I swear I'm not doing anything. You're slowly magician, sir.
Success 3.
Let's go inside. beads in here. Oh, I didn't notice. You've already checked me out. You better make sure you're subscribed or I'm gonna edit you out of the video. I'm gonna blur the bottom.